Darkness falls, and with it, the truth emerges. In a world where the line between fact and fear is blurred, beneath the surface of forgotten towns and restless graves, hide secrets soaked in blood and whispers that never die. From the chilling depths of true crime to the unexplained shadows of the paranormal, we dive into the stories that haunt both past and present. Welcome to Realm of Darkness.
I wasn't ready. My microphone was way over here.
You sound like me. I'm not ready either.
We are a hot mess express tonight, aren't we, Ashley?
Oh my gosh. Life has been insane and crazy. And I literally, I worked till 3. I cooked dinner. I was at Meet the Teacher from 5 to 5:45. Football from 6 to 8:15. Ran home. Now I'm here. So.
And here we are. Yeah.
That's why we're a tad late. Sorry.
8 minutes. That's not that bad. Not bad considering everything that you've got going on. So, but we have an interesting one tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
I mean, it's kind of. I guess let's kind of hop right into it.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about a woman named Taylor Parker who lives in Texas, and I'm not going to say she was normal because I'd be lying to you if I said she was a normal woman, but she was a woman for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to kind of do is jump around a little bit tonight. It'll make more sense once we get into it. But so on the morning of October 9th, 2020, so this was just about 6 years ago now, Taylor was 9 months pregnant. Actually, she was a little over 9 months because she was due 2 or 3 weeks before. But
yeah, she was roughly 10 months.
Yeah. So it's quite a while to be pregnant. But she was to be induced this day, and her boyfriend was on a delivery that morning. She worked out this deal where he was going to go deliver. He raised wild hogs and stuff like that, and he was going to go deliver a whole load in somewhere in Oklahoma. So he went early that morning. Well, somewhere along the way, she started feeling contractions and all that kind of stuff. But so she's driving on her way to this hospital that's, I believe, was in Oklahoma. It was a different hospital than the local one because she didn't want to go to the local one for reasons we'll get into. But so she's driving, and all of a sudden goes into labor, starts having this baby while she's driving, and she's driving very erratically, and she ends up being pulled over by the state police in Texas on the way to the hospital. And we do have a couple videos tonight, so I think maybe we'll play the first one is this interaction of her being pulled over. It's like the body cam the police officers would wear.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna play this out for a little bit, and then we'll explain what's going on here, because if you haven't heard of this case before, you're in for some I'm gonna say it, you're in for some shit tonight.
Yeah, this case, just before we get into it, everybody knows that we do true crime, and so I want to say that the crime for this case itself is only a tiny portion of the story.
Yeah,
it consists of deception, investigation, legal issues, babies, mental state. Just all kinds of things. This is going to be a rabbit hole that we all go down together. So
yes, but we got to start day of and then work our way back. I think that's probably the best way for something like this. So, all right, is it showing? Are you ready? So this is So you'll see her car there, and then this is the cop walking up to the car, and I'll let this play. It's like 4 minutes long of this interaction between her and the police officer. So at this point, she had already given birth in this car, and she's trying to resuscitate the baby. The baby is having breathing troubles and stuff like that. So.
What's wrong, man?
I had my baby and I'm trying to get to Idabel Hospital.
Idabel?
Yeah, my husband's up there.
Why aren't you going to St. Michael's or somewhere?
We're going to Idabel. It's where my doctor is. I need to get up there.
Man, I need to call LifeNet or something like that. I can't let you drive. Let me get LifeNet on the way.
She's not breathing. She's not breathing. Oh, baby girl.
Hello? Hello?
Say that again.
Hey. Yeah, the baby's not breathing. She's doing CPR on the baby right now.
Where are you?
We're on 82. Right across from the DeKalb Middle School.
So breathe in her nose for 30 seconds.
I'm transferring you to LifeNet. Hold on, okay?
Okay.
Okay, she's wiped. We don't have a fucking towel. Okay, she's wiped.
Neighbors, go ahead.
Hey, I'm out here with a lady who's just had a baby. The baby is not breathing. She's on the phone with EMS. She's trying to get to Idabel Hospital, but...
We gotta go to Idabel. That's where I'm going. I'm not going to St. Michael's.
Okay.
They hurt my last baby. I'm not going there. I just need LifeNet and they can take me.
On the phone with a different EMS?
It sounds like it.
I guess. Okay.
But yeah, the baby's not breathing. She's trying to do CPR on the baby right now.
How old is the baby, ma'am?
The baby's only like maybe 35 minutes old.
Is your husband on the line?
No, 903.
Okay. Where's he at?
He was delivering hogs right outside of Idabel. That's what I was trying to get to.
903-219?
No, 293. And tell him to go. No, I was talking to
Are you a nurse? Hey, this woman is a nurse.
I don't work this one right now, but I do have my license.
805.
Please help me.
805, go ahead.
I'm trying to, I gotta get
Got a 50 minor in front of the Ponderosa 12520, FM 1840 for Trailblazer and Tahoe. They're still on the roadway.
No, it's blue and I can't.
Oh, they want the bomb to put down in my vehicle. Get her out.
It's taking so long. Oh, God.
We're not gonna make it to Idabel. We're going to Titus, okay? We gotta go. There's an ambulance going to you. Come take you to Titus, okay?
I don't want to go to
You
Titus.
can't take her to Idabel. It's not close enough.
So, obviously, it's a bit of chaos going on at this point.
And I have a lot of thoughts watching that video. If I didn't know the case, one, for an unresponsive child, that cop is way too calm.
Yeah, yeah.
Just standing there watching her handle everything. you can see the panic in her face.
Yes.
And the fear. And she said the baby had just been born roughly 35 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see, when they didn't blur it out, you could see that the umbilical cord was still attached. So you can tell that the baby was brand new.
Yeah, brand new. It was still brand new to everything. A few things stand out to me. The fact that she didn't want to go to the close hospital. She wanted to go to the farther one because she said they hurt her other child or something like that. Which, I mean, if life or death situation, I think you still need to go to the closest place either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it does show in the records that another reason why she claimed she wanted to go to that hospital that was technically farther away is because when her boyfriend, Wade, was doing that delivery, the delivery was 4 hours from where they lived. Yeah. And that hospital was kind of in the middle of them. So she thought that her boyfriend would be able to make it a little bit quicker if it was at that hospital versus Titus, the one that was closer.
And she does mention that I cut that video down. That was like a 40-minute video. So I just kind of gave you the cliff notes there, but she does make mention that her doctors and everything are at this other hospital, and he's gonna be there too because he's an hour from there and stuff like that. But then we get to the hospital.
Correct. And as somebody who has had a child and other mothers, things that they would probably notice in this video that, no offense, men probably wouldn't know. You don't just stop bleeding when the baby is out.
Yeah.
And her pants had no fluid, no blood, no nothing. And, even if her water would have broken at home, there still would have been some type of leakage, we'll say, to keep it politically correct. There would have been some type of fluid, liquid blood still coming out.
Yeah. It doesn't shut off.
It doesn't just stop when the baby comes out. And she had none of that. And then also, when the baby's out, your belly doesn't just disappear either. It's softer, but it's still there. And she didn't really have a belly. And there's just a lot of things that, again, if you've had a child, you're just like, maybe she had it at home and changed and then went. There's just a lot that it doesn't add up.
Yeah. So that's where we get into the next video of her at the hospital. So they called the ambulance. They took her and the baby by ambulance to the hospital. And that's kind of where things take a little turn. So.
And when you have a baby, one of the very first things they do, because it is such a traumatic experience on the body, is they have to make sure you're not hemorrhaging. And that's whether you have a home birth, a hospital birth, it doesn't matter where you are. They need to vaginally check you to make sure that you're not hemorrhaging, just for safety of the mother. And this is kind of what sparked this whole video.
Yep.
Everything's negative. So that we have that. You hear me? But we can do blood on that and prove that it's not hers. So if she wants to.
Can I help you?
This is a big deal. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Are you ready? I'm coming.
She can't leave. Is she trying to leave?
She's well, there's two in there. The one is ours. That's ours.
Okay.
Do you take any blood thinners?
She's in there. She refuses to have a vaginal check to make sure she's not hemorrhaging. They've done an ultrasound and HCG, and it doesn't show that she's been pregnant. Okay. They have the placenta.
Where's she?
She is in the room. She is no. She is in the room.
She's already started questioning why people. Okay, well, we're gonna go see her. I don't know the number. No, I don't know.
Hey, okay.
Thank God. She's on the phone now with her boyfriend, so I'll try to sidetrack her a little bit.
How tall are you?
Hey there. What's your name?
Taylor Parker.
Taylor. Hey, my name's Chad Sansby. I'm a OSBI agent up here, and I heard you brought your baby in.
Yes, sir.
What's You give birth on the side of the road or something?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where was that here? In Curtin County?
No, it was in DeKalb.
DeKalb down in Texas?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You said it's Taylor?
Taylor, Taylor.
And what's your last name, Taylor?
Parker, Parker.
The nurses said that you weren't wanting to let the doctor check you to make sure you weren't hemorrhaging or anything.
They did an ultrasound.
The hemorrhaging, I hemorrhaged really bad when I had my The hemorrhaging is the bleeding, whether you're passing clots or not passing clots. It's really good to have you checked for that, because I know I was passing massive clots and they were about to start giving me blood. That's why they're wanting to check how, any damage, and check to make sure you're not bleeding inside internally. That's why they're wanting to make sure.
That's okay, that's fine. I didn't know it was a big deal not to want the guy to do that.
No.
It doesn't look like she had a baby.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Does not look like she had a baby there. Ready.
Hey, Taylor. So what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing happened.
You didn't give birth.
This is her first.
Yeah. Thank you. That means it's not your baby. So what happened?
So what happened? That is the $1 million question.
That is the $1 million question, yes.
Yes.
And, I think we should take it back to the beginning.
Yep.
Yep. She was only 27, I believe, when this originally happened. And what I find funny is she actually had 2 children.
Yeah.
She's already had 2 children. She knows the protocol. She knows what needs to be happened, what needs to be checked, how things go. I mean, I only have one, and I know what needs to be done and what needs to be looked at. She had her first child when she was 17.
Yes.
And then she had her second child when she was about 21.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's had kids before.
Yeah.
So she knows like the standards and like all these like things that they're going to be looking for. So.
And again, let's take it back to the beginning. So with Taylor, she had met Wade, and they were only together for a couple months. This was her boyfriend. This was the baby's dad.
This is her. So she had been married twice previously before this. Yes.
Correct.
And 2 kids, 2 different fathers, all this stuff.
Right. And she had told Wade that she had not had the easiest of lives. She was on the outs with her mom. Her mom was very aggressive, very mean, manipulative, really tried to ruin Taylor. Anytime she had something good going for her, her mom would get involved. She told Wade that her grandparents had money, and there was an inheritance coming, but her mom was kind of stopping that. She had mentioned that her previous husbands were not great to her. So Wade really felt for her when he met her. He's like, she was a beautiful girl, great smile, lit up a room when she walked in, and he just didn't understand how all this bad stuff could happen to somebody and she could still be a light in the world.
Yeah. I mean, he was smitten for sure. That's for sure. And I he said, her cooking was pretty damn good too. He said so. I mean, different things like that. He was living a life that he kind of wanted at that point.
Yeah, he was really the man in the relationship. He was doing the hard work. He was farming. He was raising hogs. He had dogs. He would hunt. And Taylor was more of a stay-home kind of girlfriend. But he did say, if he asked her to mow the lawn, she would do it. If he asked her to cook, she would. And she would have a really good home-cooked meal on the table every night when he got home from work. So he thought that it would work out. things had happened with her mom, and she did have to move in with him pretty quickly. I think it was only like a month into the relationship.
Yeah, it was real quick by normal standards, we'll say.
Yeah, and I don't think he was really ready for it.
No.
But again, you know, new relationship, and he wanted to help her out, and she was helping him out, so they figured it would work, and they moved in together.
Yeah.
And then he really started to learn things about Taylor and her life.
Yeah, I mean, that's when they came out right around Christmas that year. So I think they got together in April, and by December, things were going great. So it came out that she was an heiress to a oil company, I guess, so, I suppose, and there was lots and lots of money she had coming her way from like her grandparents, all this stuff. So they started planning big for themselves. He bought like $100,000 truck that he probably couldn't afford otherwise. They ended up buying mom a car, and then they ended up trying to, I guess they bought a side-by-side like ATV as well for the farmland and stuff like that. But the big one they were trying to do, they were trying to purchase a $4 million residence somewhere in like Texas for farming and all this other stuff, farming and hunting and all this stuff. So right around Christmas is when she started telling everybody in the family, because the whole family were avid hunters, and if they bought this property and all this stuff, there was no need for them to get like hunting permits and like in touch with other people to hunt on their land. So it was going to be a big deal for the entire family, and everybody was ecstatic, I guess, at that point.
I would say everybody except one person.
Except, yeah.
So this is when things kind of start to get rocky in the relationship, because Wade had mentioned to a couple people, including one of his best friends, that the relationship was moving extremely quick. He said, he didn't really know her that well, and it was just a whirlwind romance. They met, they moved in, now they're buying property, and he just wasn't quite ready for all of that. Yeah. And he started pulling away from Taylor a little bit. It was just, which understandably, I mean, you've known somebody for 5 months and you're buying $4 million property with them.
Yeah.
And doing some of the research and some of the comments that Wade had made, I do question if he was with her because of the money. Because he did make comments about how he cared about her, but he couldn't say that he loved her. And he liked her, but the money, he'd be set for life. And those are little comments that kind of make it sound like, I mean, you like him, but
you like the money more.
You like the money more.
Yeah.
And people around them started noticing that Wade would spend more time outside, spend more time with the dogs, feeding hogs and doing all the things. And Taylor started feeling a little bit neglected, we'll say.
Yeah.
And that is when all of a sudden she announces what?
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
And when she announces this, it's like beginning of 2020. And I think we all know what happened in the beginning of 2020. So there were some situations, with COVID that you were only allowed a certain number of people in doctor offices. If you were going on visits, you weren't really allowed to have other people with you and all of these things. So this was an unusual pregnancy to the normal standard.
The COVID times. Everybody remembers the COVID times.
Yeah. So she was going to appointments and she was, doing all of this, and she pulled in Wade's best friend and wife, and the best friend's wife.
Yeah.
And she decided that she wanted to have a gender reveal party. And she thought that maybe that would get Wade excited, because he was not excited about the baby, and she had made mention of that several times. So she thought maybe having a gender reveal and really putting a personality behind it and things like that would make Wade excited that he was having a baby. And they did. They had this gender reveal.
Well, she like themed it around stuff that he liked. So like it was this whole little baby cattle, and they put this pink bow on it because they were going to have a girl. And that was something that, it was right out of his life. Like that's something he enjoyed. So he was definitely in on. He was enjoying it. So I think that's when he kind of started like, okay, like this is going to be good. This is going to be great.
But one of the little downfalls with the gender reveal is, what do you think the best friend came across?
I mean, things started unraveling here pretty quickly. I mean, you got people saying this, people saying that to all these other people, and
well, so for anybody that's never done a gender reveal, normally the parents don't find out clearly, and they pick one trusted person to get a piece of paper or a balloon or something that has the gender of the baby, and the person that she picked was a friend of hers, but it was also the wife of Wade's best friend. And when she was looking at the paper to try to see if it was a boy or a girl, it was highlighted that it was a girl, but there was something odd about the paper. Yeah. And the date on the paper was actually years prior.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the actual date or anywhere near the date that this was going on. And she told Taylor told, this lady that they had some glitch in the system and everybody's things were all mismarked and all that stuff. It's nothing to worry about. The gender is correct. That's what she told them. That's what, they got back from this, wherever she had the testing done and all that stuff. So the gender is correct, but the typos it was a misprint. So nothing to worry about, nothing to see here.
And we've heard that before. I mean, there's been situations where there could be a misprint or a glitch in a system.
Things happen, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I would have thought anything. I'd been like, oh, okay, that happens. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
But then she posts.
Yeah, I mean, other things start happening as well that start to make people start question her a little bit. The car that they bought for Mama, Wade's mom, they came and picked it up. And she told Wade's mom that, they were doing it because there was a recall on it and they're going to fix it, but it'll be back at some point. Don't worry about it. The car never came back. And then Wade's mom calls about the car, asks, what's going on with the recall and all that stuff. And they're like, oh no, the car was repossessed because it wasn't paid for. So then, more eyes start to peel things apart here. Things are not looking as they were. And we got this whole property they were trying to buy.
Yes. Well, and that kind of comes out toward the end. So with this gender reveal, she decides she's going to post it online on social media because as a female, you get excited. You're pregnant. Yeah. This is a baby. It's her third one. Her dad was there. Her children were there. And so she got excited and she posted it on social media. When this happened, there were people from her past who started realizing that there was no way, that it was just impossible for her to be pregnant.
100% impossible.
100% impossible for her to be pregnant. And they didn't understand how this could have happened. And it's not like, oh, she's been on birth control too long or whatever, but there were friends, there were family, and then there was a doctor's office who actually saw some of the posts. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, when you're with a doctor, work for a doctor or whatever, and you cannot specifically give out patient information. It is against HIPAA law. It's called PHI. You are not allowed to give it out. And there's just certain details that you're not allowed to discuss with anyone, including law enforcement, family members, anything like that, because it does go against HIPAA and it can be a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. But what they were claiming, I don't know if you want me to say it now, when she was pregnant with her second child, there were some issues. And she had cysts that had been discovered, and they were pretty extensive. She was diagnosed with endometriosis. I can never say that word. And due to that, she had already had 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
So at 21, she elected to have a full-on hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Now, when they got in there, they realized that there was a few more issues. So she actually had her uterus, her cervix, and one of her ovaries removed all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's announcing that she's pregnant.
Yeah. When these posts start hitting, her Facebook and social media, certain people are definitely turning their head and be like, that's not possible. There's no way, because one, you don't even have the parts necessary to have a baby.
Mm-mm.
But like you said, the doctors and stuff like that, some of them, like the nurses at the hospital, were seeing these posts because they were friends. It's a small town. They're like, oh boy, like how did that happen? things and like you said, they can't say anything because it's illegal. So,
and there was 1 or 2 friends that did reach out to people who were close to Wade and his family.
Mm-hmm.
And they had mentioned, hey, we just want to give you a heads up that Taylor had a full hysterectomy.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that this woman could be pregnant. And they started kind of looking into it, doing research, watching the signs. Neighbors were watching, and they all kept trying to warn Wade, but he believed her. And he's like, she wouldn't lie about this. These are more lies that are being spread by family members who are upset with her, one of them being her mother. So it is hard, for Wade, that would be hard to believe. You hear that this mother and some of her friends have always tried to ruin anything good she had. And now these are the same people saying that she had a hysterectomy. So it's like, for Wade, he doesn't really know which way to go, but he's believing her because, her belly is growing. He's feeling the baby kick. Coworkers of his felt the baby physically kick from within her stomach. So you have these conflicting, half of the people say she's pregnant, half of the people say, no way, it's impossible, this is what happened. And it's just this back and forth battle for 10 months.
Yeah.
And toward the end, they got a maternity photo shoot. They set up a nursery. They bought diapers and formula and clothes and bassinets and all this stuff. And it was toward the end when it was just weird. There were certain things, when it was her due date, there was a bomb threat at the hospital, so they couldn't go. And it was just little things like that. The one day they were supposed to go, but they wake up and the bottom of the house is on fire. And it's just all these little things. But again, like, he felt the baby moving. He felt the baby kick.
How is that possible, though? Well,
and that's why I say it's conflicting, because you have people saying it's not possible, but then and there's videos of her belly where it's moving. Yeah.
And like we prefaced before COVID, he wasn't actually allowed to go to the appointments because, mandates and stuff like that. So he was just taking everything from her word of mouth as far as, what's going on with the baby and all that stuff. So, I mean, people I know people are bashing him online and stuff like that. Like, how did you not know? Like, I mean, length she went to, could be very convincing.
Well, and here's the thing, and you can play the male side and I'll play the female side. As a man, I'm assuming that you'd want to be at the appointments. You would want to be there for your girlfriend or your wife while she's going through this. You would feel the baby, put the hand on the belly, all of that. But, from a girl's standpoint, that can be some of the most vulnerable times in our lives. Some people gain 10 pounds. Some people gain 100 pounds. So it's not the same in the relationship. They're not going to be walking around naked all the time if that's what she was doing. You don't feel confident in yourself. So, that sexy time isn't happening as much as it used to.
Well,
and sometimes it freaks guys out. So it's like for him to either know or not know, it depends on the relationship.
Yeah. So after the pregnancy happened and all this stuff, there was no sexy time between them. She told him flat out that she wasn't comfortable with the way she looked and all this stuff. So from the time she announces that she's pregnant to the time whatever happens here happened, there wasn't he never saw her naked once. So
which, in a little backstory, that can be understanding to some point, because she was an overweight child, and she was considered obese as a young adult, and she actually had a gastric sleeve, and she lost a lot of weight. So even though she was confident in public, that self-confidence might not have been there. So hearing that she didn't want any sexy time, didn't want to be naked, didn't want him to see her, that's not alarming, I guess. At least that's not the alarming part of the story.
No, yeah, it definitely gets worse.
Yeah. But in the meantime, while he's working and trying to provide for her and the family, she decides that she's going to kind of take up a side gig too.
Yeah.
And she starts doing photography to try to bring in some more money to prep for the baby. Yeah. And she was doing this photography all the way up until her due date. She was doing weddings and baby showers and just kind of little events, nothing too big. But during this pregnancy, she actually ended up doing a photo shoot for a wedding where she met someone who was also pregnant. And they kind of started bonding over their pregnancies and what they were going through and the different symptoms. And they actually became really good friends. And, Taylor had opened up to this person. Her name was Reagan. Taylor had opened up to her quite a bit about her past, her mom, and the horrible things that she had done. Some of the family that kind of outed her because of the relationship with her mom. And this person, Reagan and Taylor, became pretty good friends throughout their pregnancy. And ironically, they were due just a couple weeks apart.
Yeah, so, I mean, they would hang out, all the stuff, talk about baby names, all the stuff, you go through with somebody as you're pregnant at the same time. Yeah. And it wasn't either one of their first kids. They've had kids, both of them before, so... But it was somebody to talk to about what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, and during this time, she, she had told people that she really needed a friend because one of the things that she found out was that her inheritance was pulled. And they had to pull out of their offer on that $4 million property.
Yeah.
Without the inheritance, they couldn't pay for it because they did have to, I think they were putting like $250,000 down, or it was like 2 payments of $150,000, but they didn't have the money, especially since the inheritance had fallen through, and they weren't sure when they were getting it. So Taylor did call and have to pull out of that property, so she was kind of bummed going into the end of the pregnancy.
Yeah, the pregnancy.
And then comes the due date.
Yeah.
I guess not the official due date, the 3 weeks later due date.
Yeah, so she was due sometime early September based off of, all this stuff, but the baby never came. Things were, put off, and she said it was normal, and it was just, it's going to take a little longer, so she told Wade to bear with her and, give us some time. It'll happen here.
And again, as somebody who has been pregnant,
yeah.
You're given a due date. It is estimated, I will say.
Yeah.
But I personally, and I would have to check with the doctors at work, but I've personally never seen or heard of a pregnancy going, I want to say it was like 21 or 20, somewhere between 21 and 25 days past her due date. Yeah. So almost an entire month. And I have never heard of that.
No, I can't say I have either.
No, and that's when a lot of people started getting suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Did they estimate it wrong? But then that morning when Wade left to go 4 hours to do this deal with the hogs, she goes into labor. And she decides she's going to drive herself to the hospital. And that is the video that you guys had seen.
Yep. Now we're back here, yeah.
Yeah. However, what she doesn't know is when she's on her way to the hospital, Wade shows up to this hog farm and finds out that he wasn't supposed to be there.
No. No. So Taylor had set up this deal for this farmer in Oklahoma. He was going to buy however many wild hogs off of him for, I think it was $6,000. And I guess this guy has like property and he brings people in and they do like sport hunting and stuff like that, where like they'll release them all and they hunt on the property or whatever. He gets there, so he leaves at 3 a.m. One, because Texas is hot as hell, and for transporting, they don't want to overheat the pigs and stuff like that, and health issues and stuff like that. So he leaves the butt crack of dawn and gets there at like 5, 6 in the morning. He shows up, and she had definitely reached out to these people about buying the hogs, but they said no, they weren't interested. She sent him anyway, and he shows up, and they're like, we said we didn't want him. Like, that wasn't like we didn't agree on it. So he's there. He's 4 hours away.
When he even shows the messages that he got from the
Number.
Buyer,
Yep.
And that wasn't even his phone number.
Yeah, he said that's not my number. So
yeah.
So he shows up with a truckload of hogs, and what do you do? So I mean, he did sell them considerably cheaper than he wanted to. It was like $2,000 instead of $6,000, but he did give them, they did sell, which is here nor there. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But for people that were wondering, yeah, he did sell the pig.
So in these 4 hours,
yeah,
she claims she goes into labor.
Yeah.
She gets pulled over. She goes to the hospital. And the doctors realize that she does not have any of the vaginal trauma that comes with natural birth.
Yeah.
And
then
this is...
They did the ultrasounds and discovered that she doesn't even have a uterus. So she did not have a baby.
She did not have a baby.
Yeah.
So they had to figure out where this baby came from. And this is where things it turns sad. It really does.
Dark,
so she has this baby. The baby's not breathing. They're doing CPR. They now the doctors realize the baby's not hers. They did do a blood test, and they did not share DNA. Well, what they find out is in a different town, there's been a murder.
Another scene starts unfolding, in another area of Texas.
There has been a murder, and this person had 113 sharp force injuries.
Yeah.
They had 15 stab wounds, 98 incision wounds, 39 blunt force injuries, multiple fractures to the skull.
Yeah, 5.
A broken nose.
Yeah.
And a perforated jugular.
Yeah, and 2 spots even.
So brutal murder. And the mother of this person finds them.
Yeah.
And she calls, and the police show up. And when the police show up, the mother starts screaming, she's pregnant. You need to save the baby. And what do they find?
They turn her over and find that her stomach has been cut and there was no baby.
Yes. The baby had been cut out of her womb.
Yes. So for those of you who haven't put it together yet, the baby that Taylor has at the hospital, and when she's pulled over, was this woman's baby, that she had just murdered this woman and stole the baby right out of her.
And this woman's name was Reagan, her friend.
Yeah, her friend, and the person she did wedding photos for.
And it's really sad. They do have a documentary about this case, and there is a scene where Taylor is taking pictures of Reagan and her husband pouring sand into one of those, I think they're called forever jars, where the bride has one and the groom has, and they kind of layer. And one of the crime scene photos is that jar covered in blood.
Yeah.
So this man just lost his brand new bride and his baby. And it was his first.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was his first.
And unfortunately, one of the things, while the murder was happening, Reagan had a 3-year-old kid who was at the house at the time everything was happening. So she definitely knew, she saw what happened. She was hiding in her room when the police actually showed up. Well, the mother was the first person, Reagan's mother was the first person to show up. She calls the police, and then she starts screaming, where's the other child's name? It was all redacted because obviously she's a minor, but
yeah,
she starts screaming, there's another kid somewhere, please God, let her be safe. And nobody wanted to go in. They were still waiting for the police to get there at that point. And then her husband and Reagan's husband both show up before the police got there, and they had to literally step over her body to get to the bedroom where thankfully the other child was safe. She was hiding under a blanket in her bedroom. But man,
so what comes down to the investigation is they found out that Taylor actually had multiple phones and multiple devices that she was texting Wade from her boyfriend, claiming to be these people that wanted to buy the hogs. And she made that deal, or she led Wade to believe that this deal was being made because it was 4 hours away. And he was supposed to go with her to the hospital that day to have the baby. And she said, no, we're not going to go. I don't feel good. You go ahead and do this delivery, this purchase.
Yep.
So that allowed her 8 hours, if you really think about it. 4 hours there, 4 hours back. And as soon as he left, she went to Reagan's, and she brutally murdered this woman and cut the baby from her womb, took the baby, and then drove to the hospital. And when she was driving erratic, that is when she got pulled over and she claimed the baby was hers. And she had planned to claim the baby was hers. Now, it gets even a little bit sadder because unfortunately the baby did not survive.
No. The trauma to the umbilical cord and just the brutal way that she came into this world was a little too much for her to survive that. So
well, and the doctor who actually took the stand on the case said that she had cut Reagan and she actually flipped the uterus and cut it from the back, which is not, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's not how a C-section is supposed to happen. And once the police started, and she was arrested at the hospital and taken down for questioning. And Wade was also taken for questioning. He had finally made it to the hospital, and they did take him down to interrogate him. And they started right away. I mean, they did not hold back. They straight out told him, you had believed that Taylor was pregnant with your baby, blah, blah, blah. She's not pregnant. She had a hysterectomy, and she murdered someone for this baby. And his reaction was not what I had expected. It was kind of like his heart sank, but it was almost like he kind of, in the back of his mind, already knew that was a possibility. And then the shitstorm happens.
Yeah.
And this is where he starts to find out that this murder and this kidnapping is this much of what Taylor had done.
Oh, yeah. The list of things that the lies, the manipulations, all of it started coming out after she was finally caught for everything.
Yeah. So she had, like we mentioned, she was married twice, had 2 kids, had that hysterectomy. After the hysterectomy, she actually was looking for a surrogate.
Yeah.
And she wanted somebody to carry a baby for her. And no one would do it because apparently she wasn't taking care of the 2 children that she had. She was, quote unquote, a horrible mom.
Yeah.
She would only take them when she could post them on social media. She would only take them when it was beneficial for her, that kind of thing. Then the mother testifies. And from the beginning, the mother talks about there is no inheritance. There's no oil money.
There's nothing.
They don't have, as people say, a pot to piss in. They have nothing. They came from nothing. So she lied.
Yeah.
The cars started being repoed.
Yep.
The house, or the $4 million land, was a lie.
Yeah.
And all the people that she had, because when you apply for something like that, they have to do background checks. They have to really cross-reference everything that you put on your application, and they did. And how did they do that? How did they check the bank or check with the bank and do the cross-references and all of that and still fall for her lies?
Well, I mean, you already mentioned she had a whole bunch of different phones. She had burner phones. She set up all these fake email accounts with different names of different people and pretended to be a whole bunch of different people to try to swindle and confuse people.
She even bought a voice changer.
Yeah.
Because some of the cross-referencing that they had to do on this application was physical phone calls. And she had a voice changer and would change her voice depending on who they were trying to reach out to confirm that she was legitimate trying to buy this property.
Yeah.
And then an employer comes out and says that, Taylor had lied. This woman had a baby that had passed away due to some medical issues. And Taylor told her that she also had a baby who passed away with brain trauma and brain injuries and this and that. Taylor had told people she had cancer and was dying. She said that she had MS. She said that she had, severe pneumonia.
She had a whole bunch of things,
This woman was a pathological liar from day one. And she befriended Reagan with the sole intent to take her baby.
I don't know, only because part of it you saw, like, she was actually she went to one appointment like, a month before she was supposed to have a baby. And she went into this appointment and told them that she had to cancel the appointment. Her man had just died, and, like, her mom didn't come, and she didn't want to do it today. But she goes outside and sat on the bench for an hour and, like, putting it together. She was out there, like, quote unquote, scouting people, I think, trying to find somebody that was close to her pregnant, like, close to due date, and, like, just all these sick, twisted things that.
Well, and her Google searches, one of the things that Wade had complained about is that she would lock herself in the bathroom for hours, and he just didn't know what she was doing. Well, she was in there searching things, and some of the things that she was Googling was how to buy a baby on the black market. Can you buy a baby on Craigslist? Newborn adoption. Closed adoption. So she really was, for months, trying to figure out how to get a baby. And it was so severe that the clinics or the hospitals that had her hysterectomy on file went on lockdown.
Yeah, they went on.
We'll say a soft lockdown.
Yeah.
Because they knew that she was not able to be pregnant, but because of HIPAA, they couldn't say anything. Yeah. And they knew that her due date was coming, and she either had to fake a very severe miscarriage. Yeah. Which, again, being that late, 35 plus weeks, even if you miscarry, it's now a stillborn, or it's a stillborn. Yep. And you still have a baby. Yeah. You still have a body to bury. And so they thought she was going to kidnap a baby from the hospital.
They were, all the hospitals in the area were on high alert, thinking she was going to come in and just steal a baby. Now, one other thing I think we should touch on too, you had mentioned a little bit ago, she was growing a belly and people were feeling this baby kick. How is that possible, Ashley? How is that possible?
So, unfortunately, you can buy anything on the internet.
Facts.
And she was purchasing fake silicone pregnancy bellies off the internet at different stages to make her look like she had a belly. And this is the reason why she wouldn't let Wade see her naked. This is why sexy time didn't happen anymore, because she was Velcroing, or I don't know how they strap on. They strap. I don't know what they do. I was waiting for Nate to giggle.
Yep.
She was attaching this silicone belly to her and playing it off as her belly. And then I'm not sure how she made it look like it was kicking or moving. I don't know.
I don't know that either, but was.
I believe you can buy bellies that have electronics in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a little.
And can, like, manipulate to make it look like a baby's kicking or whatever. Because people had said, I felt the baby kick.
Yeah. So there are even websites online that you could go in and buy sonogram pictures, and like, I don't know why anybody would do that, like, other than something like this, because like, why would you lie about something like that? But you can go in and, like, she bought sonogram pictures from this website that had
customizable.
Yeah, they're customizable, fully customizable. You could put in your own information and what you wanted to say, and have these printed out and sent to you at your house.
And this is going a different route now, but at what point that should be considered illegal in some way, shape, or form? I don't think, unless you are an actor or a director of a movie, I don't think fake pregnancy bellies should be purchasable. Is that the word? Yeah. And I don't think you should be able to customize fake sonograms. And I'm sorry, I work for a hospital, and I understand HIPAA, and I understand why it's in place. But if it is in a situation, and it is, now for HIPAA, you are allowed to contact law enforcement if it is hurting or causing pain, damage to another individual. Her claiming she was pregnant was not enough to say she's causing harm to someone, so they couldn't report it.
Yeah.
But I feel in this situation, if somebody is no way in hell able to have a baby, and they're claiming they're pregnant all the way up to 8, 9, 10 months, I feel like you need to contact law enforcement. Because at some point you're sitting there to see if she's going to kidnap a baby, which that's harming someone, or cutting it out of a mother, which is harming someone.
It went far on, and really only one person tried to reach out to Wade to let him know, and it was her second ex-husband, who was there for the hysterectomy and all that stuff, and he just didn't believe him. He said, "No, you're full of shit," and all this stuff. And
because Taylor made him believe that the mom was orchestrating this whole thing to ruin her life.
And the mom, Taylor's mom, didn't say anything to anybody, because she knew if she did and got involved, that she wouldn't be able to see her grandkids she already had. Taylor wouldn't let her see them ever again and all that stuff. So she didn't say a word. So that's how all these things kind of slipped through the crack and got as far as it did before, the murder and all that stuff.
Well, and there's so much more behind it. Like, we're literally just scratching the surface of what she did in this small amount of time. There were multiple friends that had come forward and said that, she would lie about sickness. One of her friends became pregnant, and Taylor became obsessed with her pregnancy, to where she wanted access to her pregnancy app. She wanted to go to her appointments. And I believe that if that friend did not cut her off, she would have been the one who was murdered with her baby taken.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And, there were people that came forward that said this was normal for Taylor, that she would spread this spider web of lies. And then when people started catching on, she would remove herself from that group and find a new group of friends, or a new boyfriend, or a new group to manipulate. And this was just a thing for her. And even her mom said that she knew that she just wasn't mentally stable or all there.
No, exactly. And unfortunately, it got to what it got to. But I mean, what do you do? Like, if nobody wants to do anything or can't do anything, like, your hands are tied.
Well, and people tried. They tried to tell him, and I get it. You know, you wanna believe the person you're with. You don't want to believe that they would lie to you and spend all this money for a baby that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But it came down to people thinking that she did it because the relationship was kind of deteriorating. And this was like her last shot at keeping him.
Yeah. I mean, it all happened so quick for him too. Like he never really fully got invested, I think. And that's when she started throwing things at him, like, oh, this money, and oh, I'm pregnant, and like.
Well, and in her interrogation, and which we haven't even touched on yet. Oh. So one of the first questions they ask is, was Wade excited about the baby? And she says no. He was never excited for it. He didn't want it. Mm-hmm. And she still went along with this plan. Mm-hmm. But then when they're asking her, once she realizes, like, okay, they're caught, they know it's Reagan. They said that, you know, we have Reagan's body, blah, blah, blah. They start to say, what happened? Like, tell us what happened. Yeah. And she tries to manipulate the police. Yeah. She said that Reagan called her and she was at Reagan's house. And now here's the thing. She was with Reagan the night before the murder and was hanging out with Reagan, her husband, Reagan's daughter, and I believe her sister. So she was at the house just hanging out with them the night before she killed her. And but she told
brought her gifts and everything.
Yeah. Brought her things.
Mm-hmm.
But she told the police that she had went over there and that Reagan started talking about how she was dying and asked Taylor to cut the baby out. Mm-hmm. And she said she said that as she was cutting her stomach and getting the baby out, that Reagan kept saying, I'm dying, you need to take her, save her, keep her. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry.
No.
But would you believe that?
No. I mean, the things that she claimed in this interrogation, she said that Reagan had attacked her first and was, like, you know, pulling her hair, shoving her, trying to basically make it a self-defense case, but like.
But then she flipped it and said, Reagan said, I'm not feeling well. I think I'm dying.
Yeah, all this stuff. I mean, pretty quickly they the whole self-defense thing went out the window because, like, the severity of, like, Reagan's defensive, like, maneuvering, like, her fingers and hands were all caught up and everything like that. So, you know, that's not the sign of an aggressor in a situation. So that was thrown out.
Well, and if you go back to the body cam footage, did Taylor look like she had been attacked?
No, not at all. Not at all. And at one point, Taylor said that Reagan did all of that stuff to herself, which, I mean, she was stabbing her so hard with this scalpel that, like, it broke off inside of her neck. Like, there's no way. And at that point, then she said, yeah, save my baby and all that stuff. But
if a mother is concerned about the life of her unborn child, she is not going to put herself in harm's way.
No
mother who cares about the unborn child is going to say, you know what, let me stab myself until I'm about to die and then ask somebody to cut the baby out.
Yeah. Which, I mean, she tried to say that she was trying to save the baby, probably to try to avoid another murder charge for that as well. But at the same time, did you see that, you know, I mean, obviously that was a lie too, because there was evidence that, like, Reagan's fingerprints were inside trying to hold the baby in as she was trying to cut. So all of it was a lie, every single bit. So, like, she just, all the way up through everything, she was trying to lie and manipulate the police and turn it all around as however she could benefit herself. She tried to become a hero through the whole interrogation and paint herself into a better picture, which all the evidence pointed to none of that being true. So just
well, And again, her mom, when she took the stand, just straight out said that she has always been a liar. She lies about literally everything. And I feel like that has to be some type of mental condition.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't fathom. In my brain, I'm like, I would need a notepad to keep all the lies straight. I wouldn't be able to, like, I would slip up somewhere. I just don't physically understand how that's sorry. I don't understand how that's possible to have that many lies and just, I don't know.
Great. I lie about one little thing and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna say something and ruin. But like she had this whole web of like this over here, and these people don't know about this, and the whole thing.
I tell on myself how many times I've been talking to you, like, oh no, I'm lying, and like, I don't know. Yeah. But she was arrested.
Yes.
And she did go to trial. And what happened at trial?
Oh, it was more of a shit show. All of it. All of it comes out and it was.
Was she convicted or was she released?
No, well, she definitely wasn't getting released. There was enough evidence that not even like, because obviously they could DNA test everything. So the DNA test, we didn't even mention the fact that she took the placenta and shoved it down her pants. Yeah. So like she went far to try to make it look like
and that is gross. I will tell you. Placenta is so gross.
Whoa. But yeah, like obviously they DNA tested all of that. It came back to, Reagan and
how did she not think?
No.
Did she think they were just gonna bag it and trash it?
Yeah. They were just it's all good.
And did she not think that there was going to be a vaginal check involved? Like,
that's.
I could see her if it would have worked, and the baby wasn't, unresponsive.
Yeah.
She would have been better off taking the baby home.
Yeah.
Telling Wade she had a home birth, and just not telling anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been probably the smart. I think it would have got back to her eventually anyway, because
100%.
You got a body and all that stuff, but I don't know if it's because she got pulled over for driving crazy, because probably she was trying to drive crazy to get away. And then that whole thing unraveled because she had to go to the hospital then because she's got this baby, and
I think she was driving erratic to get to the further hospital, because I think they would not have had word that Reagan had been murdered yet, because
that's why she was fighting so hard.
Yeah, and there wouldn't have been news about that yet at that hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah,
that's why in the video we played earlier of the car, she's like, "I said I don't want to go because they hurt her other kid." Bullshit. She knew if she went to this other hospital that all these other hospitals already knew that she couldn't have a baby anyway. Mm-hmm. Shit would hit the fan. It was going to hit the fan either way. I don't think there was a way around any of that.
I don't either. But the only good thing that came out of this is she was convicted.
Yeah. Guilty.
And she was guilty, yes. And she was sentenced to death.
Yeah. Texas don't be playing. They go and put you to death.
Right. And I think this happened, I don't know if she was still 27 or 28 yet, but she is actually the youngest female to be on death row.
Yes.
And in the state of Texas, surprisingly, there was only 6 other women on death row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
with Taylor being the youngest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's tried to go through appeals and stuff like that, but I think she's already exhausted most of that. I don't think.
Yeah.
It could be a while yet, but she's definitely on death row, and she had to go through the initial trial. They, obviously that came back guilty, but then because it's a death, they were seeking the death penalty. It was basically a whole second trial they had to go through. So then more and more stuff came out about it. So.
Well, and I don't think she's going to get an appeal. I think this is one of those cases, like you asked me on the last show, this is one of those cases that are so cookie cutter. She did it. There shouldn't even be a try. I mean, I understand legalities. You have to have one, but like you caught her with the baby. There's no other explanation. Like she did it. Yeah, I think you're wasting money, you're wasting resources.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
as some people say, firing squad.
Facts, or give her the chair.
I mean, no, don't scare her, do it.
Facts.
I think if it, like I said, I know that there are people that are wrongfully convicted sometimes, but in a case like this, where it is black and white, yes, she did it. Why waste the time and the resources? Just do it.
I mean, her first appeal was denied in November of 2025. Mm-hmm. So then she went in March of this year, she applied for another appeal for the death penalty, all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and they denied her as well. So, like, I think she's gone as far as she can go now. I don't think there's... So just do it, get it over with. But you know how those things work. It'll be another 10 years before it all happens.
In that case, put her in Gen Pop.
Yeah, let them take care of her, but...
because you killed a woman and a baby. Let's see how that goes. See, this is why you're nicer than me, because I'm like... Do it, firing squad, end it.
I think she should be gone already too. But I mean, there's certain instances. Yeah, I'd say give it the 10 years because maybe they are innocent. Because there are a few cases that aren't as cut and dry as this. But
I agree, and I 100% agree with that because there have been multiple cases 20 years later where the person's released because they were wrongfully convicted. But like I said. The placenta's in your pants. The baby's in your lap.
Yeah.
And your DNA is inside the dead body.
Yeah.
What else do you need?
I don't think you need anything other than that. I think you're pretty good at it.
I think they call that a smoking gun.
Yeah.
That's just me.
But she's just in jail and continuing to lie in jail now about every little thing. I told you some of this, like some of the shit she's got going on now. She's trying to manipulate people in jail, by all accounts. Like she's ripping holes in her shirts to become more provocative, to try to use her body to get what she wants from the guards. She's telling her mom that she needs money put on her account because she needs new clothes that she knows God knows what she's doing with because she keeps ripping her clothes.
The same mom that she trashed for years.
She asked her dad for money for the same reason. Like she's manipulating those people. She even went as far as to try to frame somebody for this murder in jail. This woman named Hannah. She wrote this whole 10-page confession letter that she gave to another inmate. Said she'd give her $50,000 to rewrite it and then take it to the guards. And then when that person didn't, she tried to give another person to do it for some money. And then during one of her searches of her bunk or whatever, they found this. So she's just a liar. She's just a crazy person.
Yeah, she legitimately is a mess.
What did I tell you the other day? I'm an expert on crazy bitches, and this woman is a crazy bitch.
You did say that word for word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can confirm this is a crazy bitch.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This case is just one of those ones that the more and more you look into it, the more and more you find. And I'm sure that more and more will still come out about the case. But I'm sorry, my family just walked in. I should have shut the door. Can you hear them?
No, I can't.
Okay, good. I can.
I read earlier that she apparently reached out to the FBI and said she could, be a criminal informant and all this stuff for him too, like mainly with murders because she's watched a lot of, documentaries and she could help find murderers and stuff like that. I'm like, bitch, you are a murderer. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I know. I would say if this is a case that really interests you, definitely go check it out on Netflix. It was pretty good. There's also, if you Google the case, with some of the stuff we looked at, there is just endless amounts of things that you can kind of get into.
You could watch the full interrogation videos on YouTube. They're a couple hours long. All of this stuff is online.
Body cam, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We only showed just a brief snippet of the stuff. Those videos are long.
Yeah. But let's switch gears.
Yeah.
Real quick, since
Can we do something happy?
Well, we kind of ran over by about 20 minutes, but that's okay. So before we end the show, let's switch gears and do some. I don't know if you would consider it happy, but next Friday, what do we have happening?
We are doing another episode of the Dark Travel Chronicles that'll be coming out. It's the Doss House out of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And that's been a year in the making. We kind of shuffled some stuff around. And other things came out first, so yeah. So this one is finally coming out. And
what do you think about the Doss House? I know we can't say too much because the episode comes out, but what do you think about the Doss House?
It's interesting. We didn't sleep there. We sleep in a lot of places if we can. We did not sleep there that night because it was shit show.
To tell you anything, we drove like 15 or 20 minutes to Altoona.
Yeah, we drove Altoona to
go sleep in this rundown, jankety hotel that we thought we were going to see.
We would have been safe sleeping at the Doss House, but
we said that we were either going to get murdered or we were going to see it's like a hotel from Supernatural, like Sam and Dean would be at. It was. I mean, we walked into the lobby and there was bulletproof glass with the person sleeping behind it. That tells you what it was.
That's the kind of area we were in. So
yeah, but we do have something to show everyone, right?
Yeah. Yep, it's in there. I had a trailer we put together for. Yeah, and anybody that's on right now watching will be the first people to watch it because it hasn't even made Facebook yet. So
nope, I haven't posted it yet. Are we
Perfect.
ready?
Yep.
Oh,
what's
the wrong button. That was my fault. I clicked the wrong button. I'm not used to being too up.
But yeah, I mean that'll be next Friday night. I think we said 9:00 on the thing. That's been our go-to time. So
yeah, and I think that I loved Doss House. I mean, I think I've been there multiple times. I feel like I say that for every location, but this one, like you see in the trailer, I'm laughing, and I can't wait for you guys to see why.
I know exactly. Yeah.
There was parts where we're laughing. There's parts where we're scared. There's parts where we're like, we're not sleeping here because of certain things going on. So it's a mix of a lot of different things for this episode.
Yeah.
And I will say that Nate, in all good fashion, tried his hardest to debunk something.
Yeah.
And he did. He tried, and it was confirmed that we cannot debunk it. So you'll have to tune in and see what we're talking about.
Yep, my skeptic brain was not letting me believe whatever happened, but you're going to have to tune in and watch next week.
Yep. And with that, we will be back in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And in a couple weeks, we will be at the Underworld Culture Con. And you should come and see us because it is in Scranton, PA. It is in the Radisson at Lackawanna. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of really cool guests. We have Kevin Kedgley. We have Wendy. We have Tony Moran. We've got Tyler Main. We've got Junko Bailey. We have us. We will be there. Patty Negri will be there doing a midnight seance and a bunch of different workshops that you can go to. There's going to be panels. They are going to be doing previews. Well, not really previews, but more viewings of some of the scary movies, the horror movies. And then you can do a Q&A with the cast from the movies. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of really cool things. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool things going on. So you guys should come see us. Tickets are available and on sale now. They are at the link below. Where you can see us. There's a link down there. It is a Saturday and a Sunday, but there's going to be photo ops with some of, I mean, hell, if you like Jason or you like Michael Myers, you can have a photo op with them. You can do meet and greets, autographs, all kinds of things. If you're there, come say hi to us. Who knows? Might put you on the show, maybe. We don't know. But until, not next week, but until 2 weeks, we will see everyone later.
Bye.
You're not going to do it? Bye.
Thanks for hanging out and sticking with us through another episode with every chilling detail and twisted turn. If you liked what you heard, hit that follow button and share the show with your fellow true crime lovers, ghost seekers, and night owls. If you survived this far and crave more, be sure to head over to our YouTube channel, Realm of Darkness and the Dark Travel Chronicles. Revisit past episodes or see what we might have missed lurking in the shadows on an episode of Dark Travel Chronicles. We'll be back next week with another case, another mystery, and maybe another piece of the truth. Until then, keep your lights low, your mind open, and your doors locked.